Welcome to Rad Chat. I'm your host, Brandilynn, and today I'm very excited to announce my special guest is Courtney, who is an artist and also is all the way in New Jersey, my home state. Thank you so much for coming. I know it's so crazy because you guys got so much
Mhm.
recently, and it's so chaotic in New Jersey right now.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
Of course. I'm so excited because I feel like one, COVID kind of makes you reconnect with people because you're just stuck in the
Mhm.
day and you're like, what's going on in the world? And I feel like there's a lack of like in-person communication. So if I can just
Mhm.
Zoom podcast with people and catch up with them, it's like a double win for me. So thank
Yeah, no, it's so awesome.
yeah. So I kind of like to start with like how we know each other just to kind of give the audience a little preview. So we actually
Yeah.
went to the same schools. I think I was just one grade older than you, correct?
Yeah.
And I feel like I don't know what your memory is, but my memory is just that we obviously went to the same schools and we were into the same music. So you're just like Facebook friends with people and you just know like, oh, like their statuses or whatever, and you just comment.
Mhm.
And I just feel like we always had the same music in connection. And then I
Mhm.
think the biggest moment in my memory is I was obsessed with Cobra Starship. They were my favorite band ever. And you got to go to a concert that I couldn't go to because we would go to the same shows too, I feel.
Mhm.
And you got to go to a Cobra Starship concert and you ended up meeting him at the pizza place next door in Pennsylvania and
Yeah.
signed this card for me. And I just remember I couldn't believe someone did that for me at that time because like I didn't really have a lot of friends in high school. So I
Yeah,
was like,
same.
like this girl just got my favorite person in the world to sign something for me and like wrote my name on it. And I
Mhm.
forget you wrapped it in this envelope and you like decorated it as like its own art piece. The envelope you put the signed card in. It's like astonished by like the fact that when you did that, you made this whole thing, and it was just such a beautiful, rad moment. And I think from then on, I just like Courtney is the baddest girl I've ever met. So cool.
Yeah. No, it's so funny because I like told you a little bit yesterday, but like in middle school, same thing, like we like the same music and you were a grade older, and I feel like nobody that like graduated with me has the same exact music taste as me.
Same,
Um
same.
and I was like, I think it was like seventh grade, and I'm like, this girl is so cool. Like,
My
I think
heart.
you dyed like your hair red at that point,
Oh
and
yeah, because
yeah,
yeah,
and I was like,
probably.
this is my way to become friends with her in real life. And then
Yes.
I went to that show, and that happened, and yeah,
Oh my
so
God, I honestly remember it to this day, and that was probably like over, way over.
that was like 2009, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah.
crazy. And that's funny too because you're right. Like in middle school and high school, no one in my grade either. Like I just did not connect with them. And
Hmm.
I was always the weird girl in my grade who wore like checkered skinny jeans, dyed hair a bunch of random colors. Like I was so in my emo phase. It's just so funny. Like, yeah, like it sucks that we weren't in the same grade, so we never really had classes and stuff. But like,
Hmm.
like, oh, that girl is a cool girl. That's so
Yeah.
cool. Also, too, I'm so flattered too, like you thought that about me, because like I thought that about you. So it's like so these days when you
That's
really look
funny.
back and think like, or also too when you're going through high school and middle school, those are like really hard times in a
Oh
young
yeah.
life. And I feel like I was so bullied, and I would go to concerts, and that was just my thing to make me feel better. And I would have older neighbors, and I would hang out with all these older people. So I kind of like, you kind of in hindsight wish like, oh, like I wish like we just always like not only connect with music, but like also if we were in the same grade, it would have been so much easier to just always
Yeah.
in general.
No, for sure. Yeah, I feel exactly the same way. Like I was always, my sisters are both older than me and have like the same music taste. They
Oh,
influence
nice.
my music taste. And
Yeah.
so I grew up going to shows with them,
Oh, okay.
or
That's
like
funny.
my
I
nieces.
actually didn't
Yeah.
know you had two older sisters. I
Oh,
knew
I
you
have a
had
lot of
one.
siblings, which is
Really? That's funny.
another story. But yeah, my sisters, they influence that. And like my one sister has a record store in New
Oh shit.
Mexico. But she opened one here in Jersey first. And then, so when she did that, that's when I started getting into like going to local shows, because it was like a slow start at first because I had blonde hair. I was like, I don't want to dye my
Yeah.
hair yet. And then now
You
I
did
just
have
don't
blonde
stop.
hair. It
Yeah.
is funny. You like, we'll have to pop a photo up from like,
Oh God, no.
because yeah, it's so crazy. Like, we just go through so many hair changes that when you're like, oh wait, like, yeah, you did that. Because I feel like now I'm used to seeing you with your dark hair on like Instagram
Yeah.
and everything.
Hmm.
So rad, she has her own record store. That's cool.
Yeah.
Connection to the industry too.
Yeah, no, they're awesome. They're killing it. They're in New Mexico, like I just said. But they've really grown because they started in like 2008-ish. But yeah, no, it's awesome. And it's great to have like a family of like music lovers and
Yeah, that's
surround
cool
myself with
too.
that.
Yeah, and that's cool to grow up with that. Me and I have one older sister, and
Mhm.
we kind of did have the same music touch for a little bit. And then she kind of went a different way, and I stayed there. So it's like you kind of like,
Yeah.
I would go to like concerts and stuff. So
Mhm.
always my neighbors that I would go with, but they were older too. So I feel like too, since you probably connect with this, having older siblings and then you're hanging out with older people at concerts, you just feel older. So I feel like that
Yeah, for
connected to
sure.
people in my grade. Like I just felt like I'm too old for these people.
Yeah, I'm too good for these people.
Yeah,
Like,
or like,
yeah.
and I'm
But
sure
then at the same time, not. Like,
yeah, exactly. Like we're also like we think we're so cool going to concerts, and
yeah.
then we go back to high school or middle school, and we're like
Yep.
not cool at all.
Exactly.
That's so funny. I just think that's such a it's funny. It's fun to reminisce on it, especially because the other day I was like really thinking about like emo music and stuff, and like going through the old phases, and then knowing that we're about to record the episode, I'm like, oh my,
Yeah.
it's like perfect timing of everything.
Hmm. Yeah, you went on your like Instagram spree of like
Yeah.
posting old pictures. I was like, I love this.
Dude, I was like, it's so funny because in the time you think like you're wearing the coolest outfit and the coolest haircut,
Yeah.
and then you look back and you're like, I was so tragic.
Yeah. Yep.
But it was so fun in that time. So I just think it's
Yeah.
cool, like knowing someone that you had similar interests in the music scene with, and
Hmm.
go to them like concerts and know what that experience is like. Because I
Yeah.
really think if you don't experience that, you don't get it. You know, you don't understand what it's like to be in the crowd or to crowd surf or be in the pits or just to be there in that live moment.
Hmm.
Incredible. So I think it was so cool we had that connection.
Yeah. No, for sure.
So then obviously you went on to be a phenomenal artist, like your art on your Instagram,
Thank you.
and just like what you started off when I like that little Gabe supported envelope. Like, how did you know you wanted to be an artist? Let's talk about
Mhm.
like artistic transition of journey.
Yeah. So I definitely always drew like all the time when I was in elementary school, middle school, high school. I wanted to be a teacher, which is funny because I work at a school now. Um,
Oh,
but once I got into like junior year of high school, I was like, wow, I didn't realize like you can do art for a living. And that's when I like started getting tattoos. And I was like, wow, this is a great career path. And then, so my main like motivation going, I went to art school in Boston. And
nice.
like my main motivation for like going through art school was like, oh, I'm going to learn how to draw the right way. And then I could start doing my own style and eventually tattoo, which hasn't happened yet, but hopefully one day we'll get there. Uh,
Yes, and then you can tattoo me.
but yeah, that's really it. And then like so a lot of my art is inspired by music, and I think like my experiences, I do a lot of portrait work. And I just recently started getting back into art because once I graduated, I had like this like weird phase where I had to get a retail job. I had to work like two jobs at once,
Mhm.
just because one, student debt, and like you you're moving like, well, I moved back home to Jersey. I could not afford the city prices.
Yeah,
uh
I can imagine.
I can't even imagine LA. That's incredible though that you're
Dude.
able to do that.
It was
uh,
rough. You don't want to know my student loan debt because it is fucking
oh no, mine is the same way.
But Boston's expensive too because I actually like sorry to like interrupt, but I actually
That's okay. Sorry, my dog's snoring in the background.
oh you're fine. We love Rat Chat loves dogs, so we're good. But it's funny, I actually did I applied to a bunch of schools and I did get into UMass, but it was so expensive and
Yeah.
I really wanted to go to Boston because I'm a Patriots diehard and I felt
Yeah.
part of me needs to be in Boston, but it just didn't work out. And then I went to California, but Boston's expensive too. So good for you. And also good for you
Yeah.
into Boston because those schools are like high level elite.
Yeah, no, it was really awesome. I mean, I applied to the school not knowing anything about it. I only applied to two schools and they were both art schools. So it's like, if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen. Not meant for, I am not an academic person at all. Like I
Yeah.
can't do it. Well, I can do it, but not
Yeah. It's not
passionate about it.
fun.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's not fun. So yeah, went to art school. Uh, a lot of my art was not great in art school because they like have you do things that like are technically right and not
Mhm.
really what you want to do. So then my
Got
last few years of art school, I got to explore more and I've been doing like more fun things. I love bright colors, like your logo. I love it.
oh, I have
Purple, pink,
no
yellow.
I can't take any credit for the logo. This person, Lost in Creative, made it for me on
Mhm.
Instagram, but Jay made my logo, so thank you, Jay.
But yeah, that's awesome. And then, yeah, so now I'm diving back into it because of COVID, which has been really nice.
Yeah.
Um, I briefly mentioned like I quit my retail job in March when COVID started. Uh, and just took the risk. I was like, okay, I'll do art during the summer. And then I ended up getting a job in about October. So now I'm just doing both right now, but it's been nice. I've had like a lot of old friends support me, which is
Nice. Yeah.
awesome because it's
Yeah.
like connecting with people I haven't talked to in a while.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I think that's so rad because you just like I feel like in life people just go on their own different paths, but like it's
Mhm.
like anyone anymore. It's just you go on your own way. So I think it's
Yeah.
you can come together and like reconnect and then see what they've done in their years. So like knowing that you were coming on the podcast, I'm like, okay, let me like really dial in on Courtney's life right now. And I'm like,
Yeah.
she's just done so much cool shit since high school, and I'm like,
Thanks.
so awesome.
Yeah.
I have to go back a little bit. What was the retail job you were working?
I well, at first I was working like for a hardware store.
Oh, hey girl,
Yeah.
that's me.
And then I switched over and I was working like for a pool like during the summer,
Okay.
which sucked. I hate like the the heat and yeah, was not fun. And then
Fun.
I started working at an art store, which was awesome like for the
Kind of
supplies, you know,
information.
yeah. The supplies, the knowledge, I made good connections, like met a lot of people that came in, um, and loved it. Loved my coworkers, but I don't know, it was just long days. And then I got
Mhm.
home and being surrounded by art stuff all day, I like didn't want to look at
You
art
are.
stuff anymore. Yeah. So I think once I like left that job and was able to take a little break and like get back into it, I like refound my love for it, which
Oh,
is
that's
like
cool.
awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I could see that being a thing because I've heard that before. Like people, I guess it depends on the personality, but you get so
Yeah.
surrounded by like what you love, but
Mhm.
you're doing it for somebody else. So you have
Yeah.
your own creative juices flowing. And I feel like for people that are artists like you need your own like you can't be doing it for someone else for so long. Like
Yeah.
then you're putting all of your energy into their passion of their business, but that's
Hmm.
business.
Exactly. That's exactly what it is. Yeah. I would talk to people all day about like what supplies they should use and like how to do their projects and then come home and then just have no energy to do my own stuff.
Energy. Yeah.
Yep.
That's that's cool that you because I think COVID honestly was terrible. Like it's
Yeah.
a terrible thing. Not taking anything away from COVID, but I
Yeah.
heard a quote, and it's like, if you come out of COVID and you like didn't do anything, like you just don't have the hustle in you, like it's just not.
Mhm.
So I think it's incredible that you took a silver lining to COVID and was like, you know what, I'm gonna take this time to really like refigure out my passion. So that
Yeah.
shows that you still found that passion, and then you're doing more even with that.
No, for sure. Yeah, it definitely set things in line for me and like made me really think about like what I want to do because I mean, I'm 24 and I feel like I don't know what I want to do with my life even now, let
Yeah.
alone like when
You're
I was in high school.
so young still.
But yeah, it's slowly coming together, which yeah.
Nice. That's awesome. So,
Mhm.
so how was it to go to art school? Because I feel like that's so, like, every college is different, but I think
Mhm.
school, I feel like it's so different than just like, I'm just going to my science class today.
Yeah. I mean, it was very different from like a lot of my friends that like I had in high school, like from their experience, complete opposite. I mean, I still did have academic classes. I still had to take like math classes, science
Mm,
classes, not as many. And they were more geared towards the art world.
okay.
So, I took, for example, like a film music class
Oh,
instead
that's
of like
cool.
a writing class. Like we did
Mm,
that and then wrote essays on music and movies and stuff like that, which was awesome.
yeah.
Um, yeah, lots of different personalities. I love that I was able to experience that because there's so many different people, like so many like different identity, like people identifying themselves in
Yeah.
different ways. It really like opened my eyes and like Parsippany, you don't find that. Um,
Yeah, that's true. Because for people that don't know, okay, we're both from Parsippany, New Jersey, and it's a small town, but a big town.
it's small but big, yeah.
Yeah, it's weird because it's like everybody, it's like this little freaking microscope of New Jersey, which is like so many different towns, but then it's like everyone knows everyone in Parsippany in a weird way. And so it
Yeah,
comes together. But also it's like Parsippany is like Parsippany to me.
yeah.
Like,
Like there's a sprinkle of diversity in Parsippany,
yeah,
but there's
but not
it's
much.
really not compared to like going to a city or like
Mhm.
yeah, a
It's
different
true.
state. It's not.
Yeah, and we kind of were like, we could have the best of both worlds because we were so close to New York City. You could just go,
Mhm.
or you could just like go to Pennsylvania or like go anywhere. But then we're so suburban that like you have that like suburban type of world.
Yeah.
So that's
No.
true because I agree. Like when like I went to California, it was like, oh, I didn't even know this type of person existed.
Yeah.
Just really opens your mindset.
Yeah, no, and it was awesome. And I like became friends with a lot of different people from like all over the world, which was great. The first 2 years, not even going to lie, sucked for me. I had like such a hard
No.
time like adjusting to living in a
Mm,
city and like being on my own.
yeah.
Um, and like a lot of the assignments, like I mentioned before, weren't like what I wanted to do. It was just foundation classes. And I was like, is this what I'm going to do for like 2 more years and like not even gonna like express myself the way I want to?
Yeah.
Um, but then once junior year hit, like everything changed.
It's good.
Yeah. I don't know. A lot of people into mute, like so many different people. I can't even like think what the
Yeah,
experience
so
was
much.
about because like it was just all over the place. Like you had artists, you had like performing artists, people who paint, like draw. We had like
Oh wow, that's
glass
cool.
blowing,
Yeah.
uh, people that did like metal smithing. So it was just like
A lot of
everywhere you
different
looked, like people
talents.
were doing different things, and it's so cool to like see into the mind of other people and like
Yeah,
get to talk to them about how they do things and their experience. And yeah, it's just really awesome.
that's cool. Do you feel like that really opened your mind to like what the possibilities are for you? Because you probably, like you said, you came Parsippany, you didn't have a lot of that, and then you go to
Yeah.
school where they really cherish people like that. Did that
Hmm.
open your eyes like, okay, this is the path I want to take?
Yeah, for sure. Once I like was able to see other people like doing what they want and like once I started to explore, like a lot of the people I met influenced me in my artwork. I mean, I have a like painting here, which is my friend Chelsea.
Oh, nice.
Yeah,
We'll zoom into it. So
yeah, but
while you're talking about your wall, is there any on your wall that you've done?
well, that painting, the big painting I did, and then there's like a little painting
Nice.
of
Dude,
me.
that's
Um,
freaking rad.
yeah, and then others are just like other artists or like my nephew colored in like
Nice.
Franklin the turtle for me.
Aw,
Um,
that's
but
cool
yeah,
though.
no, that and then like being in Boston and meeting people, like I met a lot of cool tattoo artists too there.
Mhm.
And like that's when I really started to get like heavily tattooed, and now like both my arms are basically
Yeah.
covered and like
Yes,
yeah,
girl.
I know. But like the whole scene, like art scene and music scene in Boston really like made me focus in on like my art style too. Because I think in high school, like my art was very generic. um, like I would do pencil
Just
drawings
figuring
or
it out.
like yeah, like very basic stuff. But like in the moment I thought it was like awesome. I'm like, wow, I'm so great at art. And
But I
but
mean, at that time you were because you're just starting to get into it.
yeah, I guess so. But like, I don't know. Now looking back at it, I'm like, this is so cringy. Like, why did I draw this? I have like a portrait of like T Mills, which I know you know who he is.
Oh my God,
And I was like, why
yes!
did I draw this? This is so
Love it.
cringy.
Dude, I feel not that I feel the same in the art world, but I feel the same of like photos I have, and I'm like, why did I do that?
Yeah.
But yes, T Mills, I love him.
But yeah, no, so now my art has definitely like I have one specific style, which is awesome. And people seem to like it. Like when I opened commissions like maybe 2 weeks ago, I was taking in like people's portraits that they wanted painted, and I gave them the option. I was like, oh, I could do like a pencil drawing in realism, and like surprisingly nobody wanted that. They
Oh
just wanted
wow.
my style, which made me like feel happy because
Yeah.
I'm very reserved with my artwork and I'm trying to post it a little bit more. I like went back and deleted like all my old Instagram posts of like my old artwork. Yeah,
Just want to start
starting
from
fresh.
fresh.
Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, that's incredible. So what would you describe, like, is there a way to describe your style or is there like a word for your style? Because in time,
um,
like, you have traditional, American tradition.
yeah.
So,
Definitely traditional, like tattoo inspired, but more
okay.
illustrative with like bright colors. I don't know if
Okay.
there's really a word for it.
Okay.
Um,
That's okay.
but yeah, just bright colors. Don't really like natural like colors. Love painting
Muted
people with
tones.
yeah. Um, yeah, just bright, bold,
That's
like
awesome.
love
Because
putting
I do
glitter and
know,
embellishments. Sorry.
yeah. No, no, you're good. That was my bad. Because I do know that you have a lot of traditional tattoos on you too, like
Yeah.
American tattoos, which I love that style. I actually don't really have any. My tattoos, I really don't have any ones that I could say are American traditional, but I do
Yeah.
them, and I really, really want Oliver Peck to do a tattoo on me because he's
Yeah.
known for that style.
Hmm.
Oh, you have a lot of that. So I was wondering, like, oh, I wonder if that does influence your art because you do want to be a tattoo artist.
Hmm. Yeah, that's like the goal. So, but I would love to be able to mix like my style with the traditional style. And I see a lot more people like on Instagram doing that with tattoos, like not
Mm-hmm.
sticking to like
The
realism,
plain.
traditional, or yeah,
Yeah, and
that
that's, well,
kind
I
of
mean,
stuff.
that's what inspired New School. Like,
Hmm.
school style was like its own kind of new genre for a long time.
Yeah,
People didn't get it because it was like, they're used to the old ways, but then the new people coming in, like a lot of like our kind of people, like millennials, and they're just kind of taking it by storm. So that's really awesome that you're taking
yeah.
it's yours and mixing it with something that's known, but then it's still your, like, this is Courtney's style.
Yeah, for sure. And I think about like when I get tattooed, I think about that too because all of my tattoos are traditional-ish. Um but you can tell like which artist did what, which I love. Like you can tell they're not all done by the same person because everybody does stuff their own way, and it's
Yeah.
like a little art collection, you know?
I like that too, because I
Yeah.
think the same. Like, you get tattoo. I don't know if this is for you, but for me, I get tattoos because I want to, like, I'm not artistic, but I feel like I want to tell the story of my life in my art. So
Hmm.
look at my body, you might not really know what it means, but I have like meanings for all these tattoos. So if you
Yeah.
and you ask like, why do you have Alice in Wonderland on you? I'll be like, oh, it's the story of my life. So I,
Hmm.
as an artist yourself, to then put your art on you, that would be even more of a like meaning for you.
Yeah, for sure. Definitely.
That's cool. So you graduated with a bachelor's, correct?
Yeah.
So then post now you're graduating, you know your style, you know made it like once you hit junior year, you felt comfortable. How was it then post being out of college?
Um, so I touched on it a little bit, but
Yeah.
I did like take a break. At first I was like, okay, I'm gonna take the summer off because there was a girl who graduated a few years before me that I went to Mass Art. That's the name of the school.
Cool.
And her
I know,
name
I'm
is,
sorry, I should have said that.
no, it's okay. I didn't think about it. Her name's Krista Perry. She is popping off on Instagram right now.
Oh, we'll have
Um,
to shout her out.
yeah, she's awesome. And she did like an artist talk like with the graduating class, and she was like, yeah, I took off like the summer before like getting back into my art just to like give me a fresh start. And I was
Yeah.
like, that's a great idea. I'm going to do that. And then like I just
Yeah.
got sucked into real life and I was like, yeah, this isn't happening. And I tried to draw like every once in a while. I'm not a sketchbook person. I can't
Mhm.
just like sit there and just like do something really quick. I'm the type of person that wants to start a project and finish it and then
Yeah.
yeah.
So it has to
Um
just like come to you and you're like,
yeah, or like if I have something planned already, like if I'm doing a
"Hmm,
portrait for someone, like I
okay.
already know what I'm doing, plan it out, start to finish. I can't just like doodle. I don't know.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
not a lot of artists are that way. They sit and
Yeah.
doodle and
I
do
feel
all
like
that.
I think that's like cool to know a specific thing about you because everyone is so different. So say someone's like watching or listening and they might think they have to sketch, but you don't have to.
Yeah.
You just make your own path in that way.
Hmm. But yeah, so didn't make art for a while, like not a full year, but close to a year
Yeah.
post grad. And then I started slowly getting into like doing little paintings. Um, and then it was really like people I know that helped me get back into art. I painted some
Oh, that's cool.
signs for like a family friend's like bakery that she opened.
Oh, nice.
So I did that. I did some window painting for like a few stores that I know
Oh,
and
that's
like
cool.
just slowly getting into stuff like that,
Yeah.
t-shirt designs, that kind
Oh,
of
dude, that's so cool. I think that
stuff.
was there like I feel like that happens to everyone. Like life kind of hits you and you're
Hmm.
college and the loans hit you, you start paying them back.
Yeah.
And I'm like you, you said you work two jobs. Like I've been there like two, three, you're like constantly working.
Hmm.
It just passes you by and then you just have a moment where you're like, oh shit, like what am I doing? So
Yeah.
I think it really just shows like how the hustle for you went. Like, it wasn't easy to just be like, I'm an artist, but you
Yeah.
took the time and then to then get back into it. And like, that's cool too that you're like all around. Like, you'll do a painting here or a window or a t-shirt. Like, that's super dope too.
Hmm.
Do you
Yeah.
have like
And
a favorite thing you like? Sorry, go first.
no, I wasn't gonna say anything. I'm just listening.
Oh, okay. Do you have like a favorite thing you really like to do? Like, do you rather canvas or do you like those bigger projects like windows and etc.?
I love painting like over drawing
Okay.
any day. I mean, you do have to like when I paint, they're illustrative paintings, so I do a sketch beforehand, draw it out, and then paint it. So it's just the process of that. I rather than just like straight pencil drawings or something. But I don't really have a preference. I because those bigger projects aren't as common for me. So when they come around, I'm like, this is awesome. Like I'm able to
Yeah.
do this. Um, I just finished up like two pairs of shoes for people,
Oh, that's
like
dope.
which I did in high school. And I was like, wow, this could make me money. And then I was like, this is dumb. Why am I doing this?
Oh,
But
that's
like
so
now
cool.
I'm slowly like, I'll, I don't know. I like jumping around from thing to thing just because
Yeah.
like new things are exciting to me. So if I'm like, oh, I haven't done that before, but I'll do it. Um,
Yeah, that's
just
cool.
take it on.
Do you have like an Etsy shop that you like like make things and put them up on there, or is it just strictly Instagram?
Um, right now it's Instagram. I do have an Etsy shop. Nothing's on it. I'm in the
Okay.
process of screen printing shirts.
Nice.
Um, so I'll do that soon. And then I am making prints of like some portraits I've done of like musicians.
Oh, that's
So
dope.
I posted on my Instagram. I did like a David Bowie
Yes.
painting,
Dude, that was
and
cool.
I'm making prints of that. I have a Debbie Harry like from Blondie print that I'm
Yes. Oh,
making.
old
Yeah.
school. Yeah. Because I
Yeah.
also know that you were making pins too, right?
Yeah, I have enamel pins. I don't have any more right now, but I can like reorder them. Those I did postcards, which I had to do for school, but like I
Oh,
really
okay.
love them.
Yeah.
Um, so I did like mini prints on postcards. I've done
That's
that.
cool.
I've done temporary tattoos
Oh, that's
before.
dope.
Yeah,
That's
which is
really
cool.
cool.
They're just annoying to make, but they're
Oh,
fun.
okay.
Like when you get to see like your art on
Yeah.
someone, like
Yeah.
that's not permanent, but
Yeah,
same
that's so
idea.
cool. How is the process to go through of like take us through the like for people that just don't know anything about art, like what's
Yeah,
the nitty-gritty process you go through? Or like I mean you said like you don't just doodle, you have the vision, then you'll like take the time to go through it. But
yeah.
like the actual steps you go through and like the supplies you use.
So for like a regular portrait painting, I usually have a photo reference and then I'll sketch it out like myself. That way it has like it's not an exact copy of like
Mm.
the photo. Um, so I'll use the photo reference, sketch it out, and then like touch it up. Usually I'll do that on my iPad just because I hate like wasting paper or
Yeah.
like having tons of paper like pile up on my desk. And then once that's done, I have like a light box that like I'll use
Oh,
to trace the image onto like a nicer paper. I use
yeah.
watercolor paper for most of my paintings, or if they're on canvas, that's a different story.
Yeah.
Um, but I'll usually use watercolor paper. My number one paint is acrylic wash. Like I've never used anything that even could compare. It's just dry fasting and or dry or fast drying. I can't talk, sorry.
No, you're good.
Fast drying and matte, which I love the look
Yeah.
of like matte paintings rather than
Mhm.
super glossy, like which
Yeah.
I mean oil paintings are beautiful. I could never do that. Like I props to
Hey,
anyone
never
who
say
can
never.
do that. No, I've tried. It's the process is so long with oil paintings. They
Mhm.
take forever to dry. But when I use acrylic wash, it dries fast, and then I'll go on top with like line work.
Okay.
That I'll either use. Usually, I use paint brushes that are just really long and really thin.
Okay.
Um, so steady hand and or markers like acrylic based
Mm.
markers. My
Nice.
dog was snoring so loud.
So cute. What kind of dog?
I have a pug,
Pug.
well, two pugs and a lab.
Not, I was gonna say I know you do post the pug, but I'm like is
Yeah.
the pug next to you right now.
Yeah.
I'm like
He's the one that snores.
Snores. So cute. I always so it's funny. I this is like so off topic, but I've always been obsessed with weenie dogs. Like I love them, like
Yeah.
obsessed with them. And so like me and my partner, like we don't have a dog yet, but like eventually we'll want one. And
Yeah.
I really want a weenie dog, and he really wants a pug. And I,
Yeah.
like, at first, like of course pugs are cute, but like I want a weenie dog. And then
Yeah.
lately, we have a neighbor who walks their pug, and I don't know, but it's like a mini pug. Like it does not grow. It's not like your normal like big pug. It's
Yeah.
mini little pug, and I'm like, I might come around pugs. Like low-key loving our neighbor's pug.
Yeah.
So that's such a sidetrack moment. But I think that's cool to learn like what every person likes because like I don't know, when you're passionate about something, you're passionate about the products, you're passionate about the time you put into it, and just
Mhm.
you said about the paint, like you've been through some bad paint to know that's the paint
Yeah.
you really like. So I think that's just cool to know.
No, for sure. Yeah, supplies, everyone is like different on their supplies. I will use the cheapest paintbrushes. I don't care about my brushes. I don't care about like I don't take care of them. Where I know some people that will buy like $200 paintbrushes
Mm,
for like watercolors, which is insane to me, but then I'll go and spend like $20 on a tube of paint like
too
this
pain.
big.
So it's
So
funny
it's
because it's
different for
different.
everyone.
Yeah.
hmm
What was like the moment you were like, or do you recall a moment where you're like, I'm actually an artist? Like, was there ever that moment, or you just feel like you're just pursuing art, or did someone like come up to you and the first time someone was like, wow, your art is amazing? Was that the first moment for you? I always wonder what
Um,
first moments are.
Yeah. I mean, in high school, like you always have people telling you like, "Oh, you're a good artist," or like my
Yeah.
parents or something like that. They always like encouraged me, which was great.
Oh, that's
But
cool.
I don't think I felt like art could be like something like long
Mm,
term for me. Like even in college, I was like, "Oh, this is great," but like I don't know
what can
where
I
it's
do?
gonna go. Like,
Yeah.
um, during my senior year of college, we had like a thesis show, which was like we worked on whatever project we wanted for the whole year, basically. And then we had a show at the end that like the
Going
public
through.
was open, it was open to the public and
Oh,
everything.
wow. So it's a
And
big
I
deal,
did,
a big
yeah,
showcase, I would say.
yeah. And then so I did like circus themed paintings, like
That
the one
one's
above
cool.
me. And I had three on display and like some random guy that like came to the show that like I had no idea who he was. He came up to me and he was like, "Oh, can I buy this?"
Oh,
And like it took
wow.
me back because I was like, wow, someone like that I don't know, like
Oh,
because
yeah.
I've sold stuff, but it's always been like people I know.
Yeah.
Someone I don't know is like interested in this
That's
painting
cool.
that like I did of my friend. Like he didn't
Yeah.
even know the person in the painting, which was really
Wow.
awesome. Um,
Dude, that's incredible because you're like,
yeah,
oh my God, my painting.
yeah. No, and that was like the one moment I was like, wow, like other people are actually interested in what I'm doing and like the
Yeah.
story behind my paintings and stuff. So it was
Did he end
awesome.
up did he end up buying it too?
Yeah.
Oh, that's
Which was a
dope.
cool process too, because I mean, I never sold something officially. Like
Mm.
I've sold stuff, but like I had to like go through the process of making an invoice and like actually
Mm.
billing him for it and like
Oh, that's
wrapping the
cool.
painting and like having it properly handled. It was cool.
Yeah, because that just brings you to another level then. Because like it's one thing
Yeah.
to just create the art and display it, but then to go through, yeah, like selling it and like finding out how do I even do that?
hmm
That's
Yeah.
cool.
It
So
was a good
for
process.
selling things, not that you have to say prices if you're uncomfortable,
Yeah.
but like how do you figure out what something is worth in like because you think like art is subjective because you put so much time and energy in that. That's like it's like the same like you know people that's got a shitty tattoo paid for what they got.
Yeah.
They pay for good quality tattoos. So I wonder for like kind of stuff like you're talking about, how do you really figure that out?
Um, it's hard. I think I like in my head, I'm like, I can't overprice this, but I think I really undersell myself, which is
Yeah.
like fine for me. Like a lot of the times, like I'll look at like who I'm selling to or whatever.
Mm.
But like even with that painting, like I sold it for I don't even remember. It was close to like 500, I think,
Dude,
like
that's
something like that.
awesome. Yeah.
Which it was like the first big thing I sold. So I didn't know what to do. And I remember like my professor afterwards was like, you like undersold it. Like you could have sold
Oh,
it like for a lot more because like whoever you're selling to, they don't know what you charge other
mm,
people. They don't
true.
know like how much and you have to account for like your supplies. Like
Mm,
if I sell someone a little painting for $20, I probably use like
more
about
than
that
$20.
paint, you
Yeah.
know?
Because yeah,
um
I wonder that.
yeah, so it's really up to the person. I mean, for what they want to sell. You could always like look at what other people are selling their
Mm,
artwork for, but I think a lot of artists have the same problem that they'll undersell their work just
yeah.
because they feel guilty or like an imposter syndrome
Mm,
kind of deal where like
yeah.
it's like I shouldn't be really selling my artwork for like thousands of dollars when like this person is only selling it for like this amount.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm slowly getting better with that.
Because you feel like you struggle with imposter syndrome, like because
Oh yeah. I think
oh
I
okay
don't know like an artist that like
that
doesn't.
doesn't. And for people that don't know what imposter syndrome is, that's just basically like you don't feel worthy of like the accolades, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. Um and yeah, I'm slowly trying to get over it, but
Yeah.
it's
But
always
I
going to
think
be
it's
there.
a work in progress too, because especially like when you're new, like that, because I can relate in the sense of like when I started modeling, I never knew, like at first when you're starting out, you just do shoots and you're just trying to build photos and a portfolio in a sense.
Yeah.
And then when you're like, okay, like I'm a model, I'm doing this, like I'm getting gigs, you're like, wait, what do I charge? Like an hour? And
Yeah.
it's like the same thing. You have to consider like, where am I driving to? What kind of outfits am I buying for this? What am I worth in a sense? Like, and it's weird because you're like, you're just taking a photo of me, and I'm like, what am I worth? It's like an awkward conversation
Yeah.
to have with your brain, you know?
It's the exact same. Yeah. Like you don't know. I mean, from what you just said, like you don't know what this person thinks you're worth, but it's really
Yeah,
like what you think you're worth.
your worth.
And I don't know, from like going through underselling myself now, like doing commissions and stuff, I'm like, okay, so what is this worth? If they don't want to do it, you know, it's their loss. Like
Yeah,
once I get big and have to charge more, then they'll
yeah.
regret not
They'll
buying something
regret
for,
it. Yeah.
for yeah.
Great.
Yeah.
I guess another like question to go into this is, do you have a, because I know sometimes this happens a lot in like the modeling photography industry, but I wonder for art, do you have people wanting collabs? So it's like, oh, I'll promote your work if you just do this for free. Do you have that?
Oh, yeah. And never do it. Never
Oh,
do
okay.
it.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
Because
no,
I
when
feel like,
people are like, "Oh, can you do this for me?" and I'll like post it on Instagram. I'm like, "No. No,
yeah,
it's not worth it. It's
it's
not my
not worth
worth
it.
my time
Mm,
for me to get like what 3 followers on Instagram like
yeah, that's true.
um yeah, the people that actually want to support you will support you
Good for you.
and post it and give you the exposure.
Yeah, they'll post it just because they want that.
They genuinely want to. Yeah.
I found that out too in Instagram, because it's weird because Instagram, I don't know if you feel this way, but it is a good tool because you can reach a lot of people, but then it's all,
Yeah.
you can't be too stuck in it because then you're just like, I don't know, I feel like I lose a little mental health when I'm so like, Instagram, oh my god, my followers are lower, oh my god, the algorithm changed.
Yeah, no, I didn't post on Instagram for a while, just like personal stuff. I wasn't like really enjoying posting on Instagram.
Yeah.
And a lot of it was that I was like, wow, I should probably have like more followers or like get more likes on this post, which I don't
Yeah.
have a lot of followers in general, but now I'm like posting a little bit more on there. I do have an art page on Instagram,
Mhm.
which I
Which will tag
haven't,
all
yeah,
over.
it's Glory of Love Studios, which is a Say Anything reference.
I
The
was gonna
band
say,
Say
wait, is that
Anything.
the glory?
Yeah.
Say
So
anything.
that's my art page, which I haven't posted on in a very long time, but
Mm.
I cleaned that out too, deleted
Oh,
all the
okay.
weird like art posts that I didn't enjoy, but I'll start posting more on there. But yeah, no, Instagram is weird. And I'm
Yeah.
sure like you probably get it more, like people wanting you to promote like their
Mm.
stuff, being a model and like all that
Yeah.
stuff. Yeah, where in the art world it's kind of opposite, like do this for me and I'll post for you,
Mm.
where it's like they want you to post for them, you
Them.
know.
Yeah.
It's like
I
the
could see that.
opposite but the same in a
Yeah.
way.
I could just see like for like artists though, like just Instagram being a good way to, like you said earlier in the episode, like you up for commissions and like you post the David Bowie, like this is ready to go. If you want it, like hit me up.
Yeah.
But I also think it's a good way to like, it's social media is just so weird this day and age. It's like a really good thing, and it's like, yeah, you can promote like once you put your Etsy up and once you have all that going, and it's like, oh, it's counteractive like posting. But
Yeah.
sometimes it's like some people take advantage of it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, for sure.
But and so also too, you mentioned before like your family was really supportive. I think
Hmm.
really awesome because that's not the case for a lot of people. Do you
Yeah.
think because we kind of touched a little bit like obviously we were like kind of like I would say like little like outsiders growing up, like from
Hmm.
like mainstream of high school and middle school. So do you think
Hmm.
having your and so many siblings, like having your siblings and your family support, it actually like helped you grow on your path of your art journey?
Yeah, I definitely think so. I mean, my dad was like full on biker, like growing up. He
Mine
has
too. We
he
had
has
so
tattoos.
many things
Yeah.
in common. Also, I do want to say, like, rest in peace. I know he recently passed away.
Yeah, thanks. But yeah, super awesome tattoos. My mom has tattoos, like super cool, like her whole growing up. All of my siblings are so different from each other, but like also like just outsiders. I mean, you've met my younger brother Wyatt.
Yes, I was
Um,
gonna say that the story with Wyatt is so funny to me because I was working at this is like so sidetrack moment, but your brother Wyatt is I used to attend this camp. Like it's for like at the time it was like at like getting youth that like has issues in a different variety of ways.
yeah,
Home or maybe they're struggling in school or maybe they're like at whatever it was.
yeah,
I got put into it in middle school because I had a ton of fucking family drama shit and they're like
yeah. That was the
yeah.
same case with Wyatt.
So so I got put in this camp. I went to it for 2 years. Then just like because I used to be really shy. I think I mean probably yeah, middle school I was pretty shy to myself kind of, but besides going to concerts. But then when I started to be in this camp, I like found this voice in me like, oh my God,
Yeah,
I can tell people about my problems at home and it like kind of was liberating. And so then
yeah,
a camp counselor for this camp, like, oh, share your story and maybe it'll help people. And then one year, Wyatt was in the camp when I was a staff member. And so
yeah,
when first he never really said he was your sister in the beginning. I mean,
yeah,
brother.
brother. Hmm.
And then I don't know how it came up one day, maybe talking about concerts or I came like I went to a concert the night before and then I came to camp to work and I was just talking about it and he's like, oh, my sister likes that band. I'm like, oh, who's your sister? I'm like, oh, Courtney. I'm like, Courtney. Like, I love her. And so I think that what always was like, I feel like I always kept Wyatt under my wing.
Yeah, he
Him
loved you.
because I loved him too. I was like, and he was always so good for me, where some campers were not really good.
Yeah.
Wyatt was the greatest. How is he doing? I hope he's doing well too.
He's good. I mean, he works for like he's doing snow removal right now. So he's been
Oh,
working for like
yeah,
24
busy,
hours straight. Um
crazy.
and yeah, he's just busy all the time, but he's good. He's good. Um
Mm, that's all.
yeah, just
So
working
that
a
was a
lot.
funny moment. Yeah, I just love. Yeah, he was all, and it's funny too. That time I was like not really go. I was really kind of in a hard place. So the fact that like Wyatt was so nice to me, I'm like, oh man, so nice. Like there's some nice people in the world. Because I
Yeah.
that was maybe my senior year that Wyatt was in the camp, and I think I was moving to California.
Hmm. Yeah, because he would have been like in middle school, eighth grade, I think,
Yeah.
about the time.
So
Yeah.
like, oh, Wyatt's all grown up now. So
Yeah.
that's cool that you had like such good family members and support from them.
Yeah, we're all so different, but I think we're all like outsiders in our own way. And
Yeah.
like my older siblings, like no my family's not like a college family. Like nobody
Mine was.
like did that. Like nobody's in business or like
Mhm.
office jobs, everybody does
Yeah.
their own like creative things, which are like different but also creative
Yeah.
at the same time.
That's awesome.
Yeah, so they all like were supportive and they were like happy that I was like doing something that I wanted to do because they wanted to see me happy more than like successful, if that makes
Mm-hmm.
sense.
Yeah.
Because it's not like we ever had money. So like if I needed to, I could find a way to survive, like
Yeah.
just as long as I'm doing like what I want to do, and
Yeah.
making myself happy. Yeah.
Dude, that's so. I just really need to make everyone know that is so incredible because,
Yeah, and not everybody has that, which I
yeah,
know, and like I'm so grateful for my family,
yes,
especially like my mom and dad. I mean, I grew up more with my mom, but like my mom and dad like supported me through everything. So
Yeah.
that was
And that's
awesome.
so precious too, because also not only is the family part like so amazing, but the fact that you just said like, I'll figure out how to make money, but like it's more focused on what we love to do. That just shows
Yeah.
the passion, but also the hustle and the grind. Like you didn't come from,
Yeah.
you know what it's like to not have money. So if I make some money, I'm afloat. I'm
Yeah. As long as I
yeah,
can live,
and
that's fine.
I really connect to that because I was the same way. Like I didn't come from money. My family was like broken and crazy,
Hmm.
doing their own freaking shit, and like everyone had their own niche as well. But like I'm gonna work and make money, but like I'm also gonna do what I want to do. So I really think that's incredible that you. I feel like I just really connect to people that have that. Like
Yeah, same. And you
that's
could tell like what people have the same mindset, which
yes, it's so
yeah.
obvious when someone's come from nothing or low, like not much, and then someone
Yeah.
from like a silver spoon.
Hmm. Yeah.
I also think that people who went through some, stuff in their life or family and like, didn't come from a lot, they have more of in my opinion, they have more of a drive to really pursue what they want to do because they like
Yeah.
know they see it in the horizon.
Hmm. Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, I know tons of people that like had great upbringings and like they're doing what they want to do, which is awesome. But like you
Yeah.
said, once when you see somebody like really working for like what they want, it's
Yeah.
like hits home a little bit.
Yeah,
Like
it's
I
like,
have a
yes,
lot of my
go
friends
there.
are like that. Like they know what they want to do and yeah,
Yeah.
they just
And I
work
think
for it.
it's cool too to see anybody from our like town do
Mhm.
something too because I feel
Yeah.
it's so easy to be like, oh, like there's the like when I would come visit, I'd be like, oh, the same kids are at 7-Eleven. Like, what is in life? Like,
Yeah.
I don't get it. And then like when I worked at camp, it really made it more like obvious the people that just didn't get it, and like they weren't going anywhere. So when you see someone like really pursue a passion that you went to school with, it's like that is so rad.
Yeah, and I feel like now more and more people I'm seeing like kill it and like I mean
Yeah. Oh,
TikTok,
crazy.
Instagram, bands like there's a boy named John, a door
Yes,
with no
dude.
house, some people doing solo music.
It's
Yeah, it's
unbelievable to
awesome.
me. But I have to say, I really feel like it's a lot of your grade. Like your grade, I was always so jealous of because it seemed like your grade was really always so like doing cool shit or really like supportive of each other.
Hmm.
I mean, not everybody, but like
Yeah.
people. I think my grade was just like a bunch of mishmash groupings of people. You had like the Breakfast Club, or you had like the other people. We won't name names, but they'll know where they're coming from. But
Hmm.
like I don't really keep in touch with a lot of people in my grade, like just a few. But I do
Hmm.
keep in touch with like Nick Spiller and like the fact that a boy named John is like where they are now. It's like yes, like
Yeah.
cool and like it is cool to see who I don't know who's I don't I need to learn TikTok. I feel like that's the next
Yeah.
to learn, but who's really popular on there?
Um, I don't know if you know Alexia Thorpe. I haven't talked to her in a while, but I
Oh yeah,
recently found out she's like killing it on TikTok.
really?
She's doing like a lot of mental health stuff
Oh, good
on
for her.
TikTok. Kristen Mayers is like
Oh,
also popular on TikTok. Lionel Chambers, like
I heard Nick was telling me he like his or the one of the Chambers brothers or someone raps now and is like really good.
oh really? I
I
mean,
think
I
it was
don't
one of those
talk to a
brothers.
lot of these people, but I like
Yeah,
low key keep my
her.
distance and watch like how these people are like coming up. So that's
Yeah,
cool. I'll have to check
yeah.
that out.
I know, yeah, I heard that recently. I know that's super cool because I feel like being older now, it's like you find more of appreciation for it. Like maybe in high
Yeah.
school, I hated a lot. I hated a lot of people in high school. I lots.
Yeah.
But then when you remember the people that you maybe had a small interaction with or you were cool with, that then you see those people who were like nice, and you're like, oh my God, yes,
Yeah,
like
for
let's do
sure.
this. It's just a lot more like nice to see.
Hmm. No,
Going
definitely.
focusing back on you.
Yeah.
So let's just go on tangents. That's what the podcast is about, though. Just
Yeah,
like, to talk about stuff and
it
learn.
works. It's
Just
all
whatever
relevant
matters.
in some way.
Yeah, it's all relevant. And it's just like a really fun to talk about. But
Mhm.
going back to your career and like where you're going. So your
Mhm.
main goal is to be a tattoo artist. Was that just the inspiration of that you really love the tattoo industry and the art of it? Or what was really the thing that's like, I can do this? Is it just, or was it just you getting tattoos?
Um, a little bit of both. I mean, I got tattooed really young because of my dad, which I mean
Yeah.
probably wasn't the best idea to get my first tattoo at 15, but
I got
you
mine at
know,
16.
it happens. Um, and my dad being like a biker, he has like friends that own tattoo shops, and a
Mhm.
lot of them are older now, but like they were really popular like back in their day, and like seeing
Yes.
them do it and like have their own shop and still being like in their 50s and still doing it and still caring about it, I was like, that's really cool. Like you
Yeah.
get to put your art on other people. And then once I started getting tattooed, I would talk to like each tattoo artist and like how they got started, and I'm like, wow, all these people like did different things, and like I don't know, me, I'm like, oh, now I'm too old to like get into
No,
tattooing.
no.
But yeah, I know people now that like didn't even start until their like 30s, and
Yeah.
everybody does it at a different point in their life. And then as I got tattooed, just asking questions about like the process, about like apprenticeships,
Mm.
working for people, actually learning to tattoo different machines, which is awesome. Yeah, and now, I mean, it's hard with the pandemic, like that, like trying to find someone who's willing to take you on, like as an
Yeah.
apprentice, because like shops aren't making as much money as it is right now. They don't want someone else just hanging around,
Yeah.
like
Yeah.
trying to
That's
learn from
true.
them.
Goddamn COVID.
But I mean, the process is really cool. And I think like just somebody paying you to put your art on them, or even like something they bring to you, like trusting you to put something on them forever,
Yeah.
is really awesome.
Hmm.
And like I said, a lot of my tattoos, like I look at as like art and like collections. So like when I travel somewhere, like my sister lives in New Mexico, whenever I go there, or I went to California, Colorado, like I try to
Yeah.
get tattooed there by like someone
Mhm.
new. That way, like I have a collection of things like from people
Yeah.
all over with
That's
different
dope.
backgrounds. Yeah. Um,
We're gonna for sure have to have you come back for a tattoo stories and like see
oh yeah.
because like as you're saying this, I'm like, we need to make another episode right now.
Yeah, no, for sure. I'm down. I could talk about tattoo. I have a bunch and I could talk
Yeah.
about them all day.
Yeah. See, that's
Um,
cool. I mean, it does kind of suck about COVID because you're right, it's probably harder to find an apprenticeship.
yeah.
That's your ultimate goal, it seems.
Yeah. And like even I've like talked to different shops just about like working front desk, and like a lot of places now like are very adamant like this is not going to turn into an apprenticeship.
Oh.
Like um yeah, I mean, I've talked to like different artists about how to get into it, and I think
Mhm.
everybody's way of getting into the industry is different. Like either
Yeah.
they know someone, or they work for it, or they get tattooed by someone and then
Somebody.
eventually like take it on. You
Yeah.
know,
But
it's
that's
hard.
good. But that's good that you like when you get tattooed, you don't just like show up and get tattooed. You like have the conversation with the artist.
Yeah,
To just
I
get
try
all
to.
that knowledge. Yeah.
Yeah, some people intimidate me when I get tattooed because I'm like, this person is so cool and I don't want
Yeah.
to like annoy them.
That's how I
Um,
felt in the beginning too.
yeah, but then once like I started getting tattooed by like repeat like tattooers, I don't know if you know like Ben Towers, who works at Bella
Mm.
Arte.
No, Bella Arte though, I love Dan Patrick. Do you know who?
Oh yeah, Dan.
Love
Yeah,
him.
Ben
Shout out
and
to
Dan.
him. I don't know Ben,
Um,
but I know Dan. Dude, you okay, I'm gonna hit like Rad Chat exclusive. I'm gonna hit Dan up because if you know Dan, he loves me and my mom. Like we get well, my mom mostly because she's in Jersey, but he gave us
yeah.
our audio slave tattoo. I
Oh,
actually
awesome.
he's gonna do a Rad Chat, but dude, you should keep connection with them. That
Yeah. They're awesome, but like Ben's helped me out a lot. I like some tattoo artists in Boston are really awesome of
Oh,
like
that's
telling
dope.
me about the process. Jeff Horn, who works in Woodland Park, New Jersey,
Mm,
has been awesome. Um, but yeah, a lot of people are willing to like share their experience, which I
yeah.
didn't think that was the case at all. And it's like kind of made me a little bit more confident in like trying to like get back
Yeah.
into it and like really go for it this time, because even when I first graduated, I was like, okay, I'm gonna like, I go to this shop, show them like my work, and like it'll be great. I'll get the apprenticeship. And like
Yeah.
the first shop I went into, they were like, oh, we have an apprentice, which was fine.
Oh,
But then they
yeah.
still took the time out of their day to look at my paintings and
Oh,
like
that's
tell me what
cool.
to work on.
Yeah.
Yeah, which
Oh,
was
that's
awesome.
cool.
But
Because do you
yeah,
have like a book, like a little like black kind of portfolio book that you would?
yeah, so I have like a book of just line work, and then I have like a little book of paintings that I did.
Nice. Oh, that's
Um,
cool.
More traditional inspired, just because like my illustrative style, I feel like when you learn to tattoo, you kind of want to stick with basics first
Mhm.
before like going crazy with like
Yeah.
color and trying to explore.
Yeah. But
Um,
that's cool you have the like you have both to show them though.
yeah, no, for sure.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's
but
so
it's been a
awesome.
process, and hopefully once people get vaccinated and
Yeah.
start to follow guidelines.
Protocol. Just
Um,
wear a freaking mask. What is so hard about it? Just freaking wear it. I don't get it.
yeah, no, once people start getting their ass in shape, then
Yeah.
I'll be able to like go to more shops and try it. Really
Hey,
try.
but you should start making face masks. Sell those things. That's a forever there now.
I've sewn face masks,
Oh,
but
that's
I
cool.
haven't done like art related ones.
Gotcha.
Just like stuff that I've donated before.
Yeah. Oh, that's
But
cool. Do you feel like you'll ever like buy maybe, of course, investment wise, but like maybe get your own machine and maybe practice?
oh, I have machines.
Oh, okay,
I
okay.
don't practice though, just because a lot of people look down on scratchers, people that
Mm,
tattoo from home.
yeah.
And I'm kind of afraid like once I like start trying to teach myself,
Mm.
I'm not going to be able to learn the right way. Like I'll get stuck in
Oh,
bad habits, if that
okay.
makes sense.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Um, but
See,
yeah,
it's
I
cool to
have
know. Like, I'm glad to I asked that because it's cool. Like, you do have it, but then the person.
yeah, I do have machines. They were gifted to me. My dad bought them off of like one of his friends that like makes machines.
Oh, that's
Uh,
awesome. So it's
and
like a
yeah,
real authentic machine, not like some Amazon shit.
yeah, no. Everyone like on Instagram and TikTok like buying those like Amazon machines.
Yeah, like
I mean,
why?
there's nothing wrong with that shit. Like I have like tattoos that like I let people in my dorm
Yeah,
room give me. Like
it's fun. It's fun,
it's
but it's
part
not
of the
like
process. But like
you're
when I
trying to take
want
it
to do it,
serious.
yeah, when I want to do it like seriously, I don't want to learn the improper way and then just
Yeah,
like screw myself
not.
over in the long run.
Yeah, that's a good way to think about it because, like, you're right. Like, you do want to think of your long-term progression there.
Yeah, for sure.
That's so dope. Oh my gosh, I freaking love it. I feel like it's one just so cool to be an artist, but then to have the aspiration to be a tattoo artist is even more.
Yeah.
And I think it's so, 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 so up your alley. Like, I could for sure see you in the tattoo shops, like giving tattoos. Like, you're just,
Yeah.
that's so
Thanks.
cool. Is
Yeah.
there any other like goals or aspirations you kind of have that you want, post-COVID world?
I mean, besides like tattooing, like just making like I love like tangible art, like people
Mhm.
that like screen print t-shirts or like make pins and like patches and all that stuff. I love when people do that. I have a really good friend Ryan who does that stuff in Boston. Um, and he like sells a bunch of different stuff, and like just maybe like either making an Etsy or an online shop that like I'll be able to sell like physical items and
Yeah.
affordable items too. um because art like I think should be more accessible. There's like
Mhm.
things where you sell paintings like originals, but then you also want to provide prints. So like people that
Yeah.
maybe can't afford an original painting.
Original. That's a
Yeah.
good point. Yeah, that's
So
cool.
just expanding like the way I make art,
Yeah,
I
that's
think is
dope. I
another
think that's
goal.
cool to think about. Like, yeah, there is the original, but you can also have like the copies of it, and that's totally okay too.
Yeah, no, I have
The
tons of,
vinyl, but can't buy the vinyl, so they buy the CD.
yeah.
That's
No, for
cool.
sure.
And
Hmm.
also too, when you make your Etsy and stuff, you have to let us know, and we'll post
Oh,
it
I definitely will. Yeah.
and stuff.
Um,
Like obviously, we'll post your Instagram and all that, but
yeah.
so making a TikTok of how you doing your like when you do your paintings.
Um, I've thought about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
I like got told to make a TikTok and like show process work. I'm just like
Yeah.
bad at filming and like
Mhm.
documenting process work.
Yeah.
So
Dude, I feel like
maybe that's something to work on.
I know I feel like everyone is so good at TikTok and I'm like, I don't know how to do it. I tried to do one that all-time low trend that was going around for a few days. I tried one
Uh-huh.
and I was like, I don't even think this is anything like people do. So it's hard. I do see your perspective, like, oh, do I really need to like go into that? So that's true.
Yeah. And
It's,
I barely use Instagram, so I don't
you did
like
say that, yeah.
I should
You
start
did say
to
that.
spread myself around.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. I
Yeah.
would suggest to like because on what you do have on Instagram is so freaking good, dude, that I do think you should post more on it. My personal opinion.
Yeah, I do. I post a lot on my stories, which is bad,
Mm,
but I'm like, okay, then I only have to look at my own stuff for like
stuff.
a day and
That's true. Well, you can
and
put it
only
in a
learn.
highlight. You can make more highlights
Yeah,
and stuff. That's true.
for sure. Yeah, no, that was like my goal for the year, like just to post more of my art on Instagram because
Yeah.
I'm horrible at it. Even just posting pictures in general, like I don't do that.
It's not your thing, yeah.
Yeah.
You're so artistic. Like people need to see your stuff. It's so good, dude.
Thanks.
And then also, just so I should have asked this a little earlier, but has anyone like come to you and been like, "Can you design my tattoo?" or like put like your image on their shirts? And like, how is that feeling for you emotionally?
I've had a few people ask about like tattoo designs. I don't know if anyone's actually gotten
Mm,
something.
yeah.
Um, I know one of my close friends, I drew up something and she like took it with her and like got something very similar, but
Oh,
I
okay.
don't think it was the exact same thing. I've
Exactly.
gotten my designs tattooed on myself, which
Yeah. That's cool though.
works. Yeah. Um, but I don't know if anyone else has gotten that done. But people have asked me to do it and I've done it,
Yeah.
but I've never, yeah,
Seeing
come
the
full
product.
circle. Yeah.
Yeah. That must be so rad and just like a magical moment. Like you like I'm like could potentially be and even for yourself, like to have your own art on you, like I did that.
Yeah. No, it's definitely cool to see that.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, t-shirts, I've drawn up some stuff and not lots of stuff. Even for like my friend group, I'll like make shirts usually for them.
Mhm.
And then like even seeing them wear something like that, I mean, they didn't pay me for it, but like I made them. That's like a cool thing.
Yeah, that's
Um,
cool.
yeah, but mostly like the shoes. I mean, people will pay me to
That's
paint shoes.
cool.
Which I mentioned, like it's not my favorite thing to do just because usually they want like other artwork on it and not my
Mhm.
artwork.
Or
Like the
okay.
shoes I just painted, they were like, "Oh, can you do Among Us shoes?" Which was like
Uh,
fun to do and like I got to put like my little touch on it, but like it's someone else's artwork that I'm
artwork.
painting.
Yeah, it's not
Yeah.
your design in that sense.
Yeah. Mhm.
That's true.
For sure.
And then, is there any like advice or kind of like suggestions you would give someone that maybe is listening and would kind of want to go on the path you're going on?
Just go for it. I mean, like, no matter what your art looks like, whether like you think it's bad, because I've gone through that phase and I'm like, I'm not great. It's just the imposter syndrome. And like, just go for it. If you enjoy it, do what you want. Like, that's all that matters. I mean, to me, that's all I care about. Just making myself happy and trying to like continue to do that.
Yeah, That's awesome. And then just like a last parting words,
Mhm.
anything you of course want to plug, we'll put your Instagram and everything here.
Yeah.
But I feel like this might be my perception, but you being an artist, I personally think you also dress and do your makeup and your hair in such an artistic, cool style.
Yeah.
That kind of goes hand in hand, like of your self-expression of being an
For
artist.
sure. Yeah. No, I think like after going to art school, I was like, okay, I need to like step up my game and like make myself like, I don't know, when I make art, at least like nobody really like knows what I look like unless they know me, you know,
Mhm.
like if they see my art. Um, but like me trying to express myself more, I'm like, okay, well, I want someone to know like that I'm different or I
Yeah.
like do something interesting. Because I don't know. And like a lot of like my art is inspired by music and like I mean, even like music alone, I think it just like takes over everything in my
Mhm.
world.
Yeah.
Because my art's inspired by it. And then like when I'm doing something, like even with the David Bowie painting I did,
Mhm.
I was like looking up reference pictures and I'm like, wow, David Bowie's like fashion and like the glam
Mhm.
of it all. I love it. Like the
Yeah.
glitter, like the gold,
Yeah.
like everything, everything about
It
it.
was like
And
his whole being.
yeah. And like even just like people that make music now, like there's so many different artists that like express themselves in different ways and like you see them and they're like, oh, they must do something interesting.
Yeah.
So like
Yeah,
yeah,
that's
I
so
try to
true.
dress fun, and I mean I work at a
Mhm.
school, so like it's not, I try to like still do that, but
Yeah.
yeah,
What do you
it's
do at the school?
I'm a paraprofessional, so I like
Oh,
I work in like an autism classroom
oh, that's
and do
awesome.
like one-on-one teaching and aiding with students.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
so nice. Oh, dude, you're just like so perfect. Why are you so perfect?
Not at all. Not even close.
I really love the fact that you think like okay, the way I like present myself is like who my self-expression because
Yeah.
I love that. Like I love looking at someone and being like that person dresses awesome, their makeup's awesome, their hair is awesome, like and then
Yeah.
work. Or like when you go into a tattoo shop and you're like, I want to go get tattooed by the person that has a full on arms.
Yeah. Like you're not gonna go get tattooed by someone who has no tattoos.
Yeah, it's like a taboo kind of thing. But also
Yeah.
especially girls in tattoo shops when they look so fucking rad and like what I want to look like, I'm like, that's dope. Because I feel like I don't know, like I know like I actually work a boring business job. Like, my real career college degree was business. So I actually like thankfully have a great job for that. But
Yeah.
I'm like boring now. And I'm like, what happened to I dress crazy and dye my hair and but I thrive off people that still rock that self-expression.
Hmm. Yeah. I
I
wish
feel
I
like
could
I
dye my
lost
hair
it.
right now, but
Yeah.
I
How was
get
it
bored of my
to
hair.
how was it to go from blonde to black?
uh it was a process. I mean, I like did mostly every color you could imagine, and my hair was
Yeah.
pretty long in like high
It
school.
was
Cut
long.
it all off, and then yeah, I just
That's
like
awesome.
change and like how
Mhm.
we just talked about self expression. Like I
Yeah.
don't know, I like to keep it interesting because like people don't know what I do. So like if I dress cool, they're like, oh, I wonder what that person, you know, what they
Yeah.
do.
I love it. It's so cool. Dude, just like I just keep being you. You're just so and I'm just so thankful you wanted to come on and share your story because I
Yeah.
so cool to learn people's story and like where they've come from or like where they went and like their journey. Even to know too, like my dad was a biker and had his own motorcycle club, and then to learn your dad was a biker, it's like, oh my God,
Yeah.
how freaking rad to learn little bits and pieces of someone's life, you know?
Yeah, for sure. And I'm glad you asked me to come on because, like, in my head, I'm
Yeah.
like, I am not interesting at
Dude, you
all. Like,
are
I don't
though.
know what I'm gonna talk about.
And we
Um,
talked for like it's been over an hour now.
yeah, no, definitely. But it's been like a nice experience to like be able
Awesome.
to actually like talk about stuff because it's not something like you think about yourself all
Mm,
the time. Like,
that makes sense.
I don't put myself first in my mind ever. So,
Yeah.
like, yeah, being able to talk about like what I love and like
Yeah, and I think it's cool because I think it when people talk about what they love and what they're passionate about, it really transcends. Like just the way you talked about paint, I was like, this girl is super passionate about
yeah.
the way you use products and the journey it took and like how you were in school. Like it just really transcends like what someone's passionate about. And I think in this day and age, there's so much fakeness and editing and different apps where you can change how you look. And I love it when you meet authentic people who are just passionate about what they do. And this is like, this is who I am, this is what I look like. Take it or leave it.
Yeah.
I think it's super cool. And then just to learn, like, I am not artistic at all. So to just learn the craft of it is super interesting too for me and for anyone else that's like listening too.
Yeah. And yeah, no, for sure. I mean, it's different for everyone. So it's like great that you're doing like something like this that, I mean, you've had multiple musicians like on your show, like hearing
I do cater to I just love listening to musicians. So
yeah, I mean, it's all the same artists, musicians, like everything. Yeah, we're all the same people, but everybody's story is so different, like no matter like what they do. So it's awesome.
And I think it's cool too that you did also mention like the imposter syndrome because it also shows that like being in a craft or like having such a talent, because really being an artist is a talent. Like no one can just draw nice stuff. Like I can't even draw a stick figure nice, like no talent at all. But for someone that has such a talent, and then to you to reference like, yeah, I've had imposter syndrome before, it also shows just the genuine person you are. Like you and you said you don't put yourself first, but like you're badass, like you have great art and you're such a cool chick and you're really from what I've known you, like super nice. That it's just interesting to learn like, wow, like someone that has so much going for them could also have a lot of like stuff happen in their life that like you just don't ever know what by like looking at them. Follow them on Instagram.
And thank you for hyping me up.
Dude, I swear to God, honestly, I'm not gonna have anyone on this podcast that I don't think is rad because it's called So I think it's so dope. But also too, I don't want to take too much of your time, but rapid fire because I can't really do them in person anymore. Okay, rapid fire. Favorite band that comes to your head? Because I know
say anything.
Okay. She's like, I already know.
Yeah, say anything.
Favorite concert you've been to?
Maybe Brockhampton or Taking Back Sunday. They're just very good at putting on shows. Yeah.
That's true. Favorite like genre, I guess. I mean, I would just say rock in general for me, but so it's kind of hard.
Your genre? Yeah, like alternative rock. I mean, I listen to everything, but like that's like 2005 like alternative rock is like where I'm stuck.
Nice. And then favorite girl in a band.
Ooh,
that's kind of hard. I think I would say.
I don't know.
I always go between like the In This Moment lead singer because she's so badass, but I've been feeling the Spirit Box girl lately.
Cool. Yeah.
I don't know what her name is, but she's like the singer of Spirit Box.
Yeah, no, that's awesome. I know there's a girl in Pine Grove, which is super awesome. I don't know if you know the band Pine Grove, but they're from New Jersey.
I've heard of them. Yeah, I feel like I've heard
they're
of them.
super awesome. I mean, I love Miley Cyrus right now. Like she's
all Why is she so cool?
I don't know.
I've been working out lately and I literally work out to Hannah Montana. Like no I really love Hannah Montana. But dude, her Plastic Hearts album is really good. And she's a song with Idol.
It's awesome.
Billy Idol was like my life growing up.
Yeah, and I mean collabed with Stevie Nicks, which is like love cool. Stevie Nicks, like any like woman musician.
She's
from, like,
your woman musician.
Yeah. Debbie Harry, like they're all amazing.
And then I feel like I'm gonna know this one, and this is why I want to ask you. Favorite TV show?
It's Always Sunny.
Okay, thank you. It's literally the greatest show ever. And I wanted to say that because I love Danny DeVito, and I know you love DeVito. And so I'm like, Also, he's from New Jersey, and they gave him his own day. Like, there's a
Yeah, it's in November. I think it's like November 17th or something like
yeah,
that.
it's like 'cause I know it's in the month of my birthday, so I'm like, it's
Yeah,
meant to be.
I love him.
Like, I love Always Sunny, and I was like, okay, I know she's gonna say that, and that's why she's.
Yeah. It's also probably because I have him tattooed, but
You, I was gonna say you
yeah.
actually have him tattooed, and I'm like, dude, I'm so jealous. I feel like I need a trash man tattoo as well, like
Yeah.
him. So also too, we're gonna for sure have to come back for tattoo stories because we talked about
Oh yeah.
tattoos.
Yeah, for sure.
So stay tuned for that, guys. Thank you so much, Courtney, for coming on. This was so
Thank you for having me. Yeah, I'm so glad we got to
good.
catch up.
Me too. Oh, this was so great. Bye, guys. Have a great Saturday.
Bye.